Welcome to the Esk8 Fix, brought to you by Esk8 Oz, bringing you all the latest Esk8 news, reviews, and interviews. Here's our host and self-proclaimed Esk8 addict, the man helping you get your fix, Craig Taylor.
G'day, legends. Welcome back to the channel. I am so stoked to be here. Something special. Sorry I've had a couple of weeks off. Personal issues, life gets in the way, but I'm back, and I'm back with two special guests. There is a big event coming on this weekend, and you know, if you're in Perth and you're not there and you're into electric skateboards or unicycles, mate, you're going to miss out. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Brad and Tas from ERL down in over in Perth. Here they are. Legends, welcome.
Cheers.
How you
Thanks for
going?
that.
Thanks for having us.
My pleasure, mate. It's only 4:30-ish where you guys are. I'm a couple of hours in front of you, so the day is disappearing fast, so I won't keep you for a long time, but I want to get into where ERL started, the Electric Racing League in WA started, get a little bit of history so the punters out there sort of know who you are and what you're about and all the rest of it. So who wants to jump in first, guys?
I'm happy to jump in. Yeah, I guess.
Let's go for it,
Yeah.
Tas.
So, basically, I got into Esk8 in about 2020. Prior to that, I'd been skateboarding and snowboarding and involved in all sorts of board sports. And so, obviously, this was the natural progression. After riding for about 6 months or so, I thought these things are pretty quick, and I think there's a market out there, and there's definitely people interested out there for racing them. So I put the call out there to a local Facebook group, Perth Electric Skateboarders. Had a few people put their hands up. Brad was one of the main guys who jumped and stepped up on board and sort of brought it to where it's been today. So yeah, here we are, really.
Yeah, I didn't know these guys. Then I just saw the opportunity. It sounded like a lot of fun. I could apply my skills to it for sure. And I took a day off work. I booked a day off work to meet them. So, yeah, no, worth it. Well worth it.
So how far along down the track are we from that initial hookup of the two of you?
The initial meeting, I think, was in 2020. Myself, Brad, another guy, Keegan, and Lockie, who does our presenting. We met up at a pub and had a chat and sort of brainstormed a little bit more than anything.
In Australia, don't they, boys?
Absolutely, yeah. And just sort of brainstormed, our ideas, what we thought it could be, and the sort of direction we wanted to take it. Being in Perth, obviously things happen a little slower here, but we have some pretty big goals and big ambitions, and we are making some moves very slowly. Starting to move a bit quicker than
I was going to say slowly.
Previously.
What are you talking about? You guys have had. I'm going to get into it a bit later on, but you guys have had one of the most monumental events I've ever seen in this industry. Now we'll get to that shortly. I'm not going to jump the gun, but there's some good stuff coming. There's some real jam at the end of this as we get through this. So hang on and stay with us because the story is going to evolve really well. Now, I'm going to briefly jump into this. Tas, you're a builder as well?
Yeah. So my first board was off the shelf. Like a lot of people, I bought an Evolve GTR and loved it. I sort of came into the scene when that was released, and I think in terms of boards, like the progression of builds and boards, that thing was like a next level up from what was around at the time. I rode it for about 6, maybe even 12 months. And by then I was very, very comfortable on it. So I was looking for something else, something with a bit more, something that I could customize as well. I got into DIY. My first build was a little bit rough, I would say, to my standards anyway. But over time I've been building. I very briefly opened up a shop for building boards, but got pretty overwhelmed with the amount of orders and stuff coming through, so I decided to focus on ERL. But board building still a passion of mine, and I've been loving it, building racing boards. Awesome. And
now,
mountain
Brad,
boards. Yeah.
Brad, I'm going to dump into you, Brad. Where did your e-skate passion start? Where are you? What brought you into the crazies world of sport besides ERL? Obviously, you're already riding when you met the boys, but
yeah,
for you.
I'm actually on a one wheel. more recently a float wheel if I can get it working.
Oh no, hang on. Let's come back to this. I heard about your one wheel on your podcast. So these guys do have a podcast. I'm going to mention it right now. Brad, what's the name of it?
Electric Racing World.
All right. Now they've only just started. There's a couple of interviews in and a couple of podcasts in. So look for them. I'll chuck the links in the show notes below this. So get on their thing, get in behind them because they're talking all things Esk8 PEV racing and who knows what's to come of this podcast. But I'm really stoked and I was listening to it today. So go back to your one wheel story. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Plug away. So I'm on a one wheel. My background in like action sports is more from wakeboarding. I spent a lot of time doing that. Not as much time as I'd like to recently, but the crossover from that to a one wheel was very nice in the way you carve, the way you kind of just you're not holding a controller to go fast. You're one with the board. You just want to go that direction. You tell it to go that direction. You lean that way, and it goes. So I just took to the one wheel pretty quickly, and that's where I met the crew on the group rides. All the different kind of PEVs get together. So I jump on an Esk8, but I'm not as good as those guys.
I was going to say, but you're out there on a one wheel doing banging behind Tas on some of his mega builds, and you keep him with him.
Well, I don't think I've really kept with him in the last year. Like we did an event in New South Wales, and my board didn't really come back together since pulling it apart and chipping it and coming back. I've stripped a few wires, and I've got to do some stuff to bring it back to life. And I've just been busy.
PEV owner, hey Brad.
Yeah, I'm not a builder like Tas, so maybe I need to lean on him more for that.
Absolutely, no, get stuck into him. He should be helping you be back. You got to be riding, so Tas, you got to sort that out.
Dad.
So we're going on through ERL. You guys are not non-for-profit or not-for-profit. What does that sort of mean?
Not
ERL?
really. There's actually
really?
two things. No,
Okay.
So we also founded the Electric Sports Racing Association, which is the not-for-profit arm. ERL is a for-profit company. It'd be nice to say we actually make a profit. We definitely haven't yet. We're investing in the sport.
More support.
Yeah, please.
Jump
on our mailing list to start with. We need to build some numbers to show that we've got some support, and we really want to get an idea about where people are around the country, where we're going to take this to next. That's a big goal for next year. So if we can get, we'll get a survey together. Maybe you can chuck a link on this, and we can start getting some information where we're going to go. But yeah, as far back to the not-for-profit thing, that's Ezra. So the Electric Sports Racing Association is community owned. I chaired it in the first year. Tas is currently chairing it now. We've got Pete, who's the vice chair at the moment, who's really doing well. He was our barbecue captain for Bunnings Sausage Sizzle on the weekend. All the fundraising stuff, all the things we do cost a lot of money. So the association is community owned. People can then be voted into the committee, and then if they want to take it on and chair it, then by all means, we'd rather someone else do it and we can work alongside them. They're more grassroots focused. The idea is to help then build out and support clubs around the country, and just try and build the grassroots of that.
It's what we need. Absolutely, Brad. It's what we need. We need more people pushing this sport forward, growing it, and that's one of the reasons why we cooked up and started chatting online. And I really wanted to get you guys on because it means a lot for me. I love this sport. I want to see it grow. And the only way to do that is to have people like yourselves pushing the envelope, you're pushing ERL because it's a business, but at the same time, the community has to grow in sync with it, or else the racing and the ERL don't quite get the numbers in to actually get the racing happening. So collectively, we all need the sport to grow and flourish. So it just keeps going and it's perpetuating one day. And excuse me, who knows? One of those crazy people like Monster or Monster Energy drinks or Red Bull may jump on and support this sport to grow even more, because that's the recognized moment, really, isn't it?
Where once we turn the corner of having some sponsors who jump on board and help us deliver what we do. We've started working with e-riders on this current event. They sell the EUCs, and I think they do some electric bikes and protective gear.
We'll get into that in a minute, Brad. just hang
that, yeah.
I want to talk about that. There's a few things I still want to get through, and it's a teaser. There is something coming up this weekend, so hang on. Membership and merch. You guys have a free membership online. People can join in, so you got a little bit of a mailing list going, some information, so you can actually send people stuff or emails and stuff when things are happening. You do have merch. I did notice you sold out online at the moment, so I know I was looking the other week to try and grab a t-shirt or something, but I was going to wear one tonight, but I've gone with my mad East8 t-shirt. But they do have merch, so keep an eye out for the guys when they're putting some more merch up, because that does help ERL. Those little bits and pieces of cash from those sales always help. I'm going to get into the membership. You do have online comments about maybe making a racing membership, a paid racing membership on the website. Is that to cover insurances or other stuff?
So I guess that's something
that
we're trying to. Yeah, you go for it. Sure, you got your head around that much more than I do. Yeah.
It's like the insurance side of things is we are working on that. We're talking to insurers for like currently it works on a waiver situation, and ERL is insured against liability, like negligence, but we have risk plans and safety plans, etc. But people are doing it under their own risk. They're taking the risk on board themselves. We are talking to insurers about having like race day member insurance, so like they could pay like $10 for the day that they're at an event, and that's covered them for that day. And we kind of that I think that covers them for like $20,000. We're working on that, but it's one of those things. It's like the chicken and the egg, and we need the whole network of clubs to be able to make that attractive for an insurance company to actually want to put that out for us.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah,
I think.
But at the moment,
Brad, I was just thinking one of the things I did when I was at one of the big electric vehicle shows here in Melbourne a few months ago, and they made us just sign a digital waiver online right there, and then it was done. Don't know what that was about, but I think the facility covered it. But there was an insurer who let us ride electric bikes, skateboards, EUCs, scooters, whatever was there. We could just play with whatever the gear was there, and we had no issues. So if I find the details, I'll flick it through to you.
Yeah, I think what we found, and I think a lot of people have found, not just in Australia but around the world, is as soon as you attach the word racing to your policy, it becomes a lot more difficult to get the coverage. So it's one of those things that, and as well as it being really niche and sort of, uncharted territory for these insurers, it just makes it so difficult to get insurance for racing. So yeah,
I understand. I mean, when Scott and I traveled to the US for Esk8 trying to get insurance that would cover us just to ride skateboards, electric skateboards, was hard enough. But in the US, we came across Covermore. They'd actually said skateboarding was on there, and we said, "Oh, is there a difference between electric and push skate?" And they just said, "No." Okay, done. You've got our business. But the racing thing, never going to work over there, right?
Yeah,
anyway,
it makes it tricky.
Racing. Now, talking about racing with you guys, I'm going to get into it. You do indoor go-kart track racing. I mean, this is something we've seen around the world now with Onsra, with Evolve, and now you guys are doing a lot of racing indoors. How's all that work, and how do you get around it? How does a go-kart track sort of give you the green light to do this sort of stuff?
I guess it comes back to the same thing, having your checks and balances. It's all about risk plans, showing the fact that you've got insurance, showing that you've thought about things, having it, just approaching it professionally, I think makes a big difference. We're a company, we're set up like as a complete entity to be able to have it be insured. We've got experience in running events. We can just approach it really professional, and like with safety as the utmost importance, get that across the line. Takes a little bit of convincing. We are trying to work with other indoor kart centers around the country, and they always come back to talking to their insurer, even though we've got our own policy. I think that's, we do some semi-regular stuff there. It's not always race events. We do some track nights and skills development as well. It started off from a winter try series, just people had nowhere to ride in the winter, so that's where we kicked that off from.
It makes a hell of a difference to be able to do that. I mean, other states in Australia have major issues with just trying to find somewhere to skate in winter, and people pick car parks and then they get kicked out, and then they go somewhere else, they get kicked out of there. But I mean, in Victoria, there's nowhere because car parks won't allow you in, and if they do find you, they kick you out, and then there's no go-kart tracks in Victoria that will even think about letting you in. So it's really awesome that you've got that location. Brad, I know something's a little bit special on your side is the dirt tracking and the dirt track racing. Give me I mean, is this a one-wheel thing, or is this a Tas Esk8 thing as well, or what's going on here?
Tas loves his trails for sure.
I think first and foremost, I am I'm an electric mountain boarder before a racer. Unfortunately, these days I don't get as much time out on the trails, but yeah, definitely.
Oh, don't worry, mate. I just rebuilt a battery for my tramper just for that one time I get to go and play every now and again. So I feel you, and I feel you too, Brad, because I know one wheels in the dirt are just epic and next level. But I've got to say, four wheels for me is much nicer than one large one, because I've tried a one wheel in the dirt a few times and come to guts or something shocking.
Well, this guy's actually very capable of keeping up with us on the trails too. So I'm not surprised that he's as keen as he is.
Pretty capable at coming a cropper as well.
as every one wheel who goes on the dirt has always said.
Yeah. As far as the dirt events, we definitely want to do more of them. We're still kind of getting around people's hesitations in racing. Some people might be intimidated, and we are trying to do more. We're doing intro to speed events with Ezra now to try and give people the opportunity to kind of come out without having to think about trying to be the fastest, and hopefully we can build the community around that a little bit. And then once we've got people into it a bit more, I think dirt might put a few more people off, but if we can win them over in the same way and show that it's not that bad, I think
it's a different world. I mean, for me, I love dirt. You hit the ground. The dirt's actually dirt. It's hopefully, fingers crossed, it's softer, and you roll through a bit of dirt, and that was hilarious. And you're not hitting a pole or hitting concrete, because concrete can break pretty hard, but obviously dirt gives it a little bit more freedom. Obviously, it's a little bit slipperier, but if you've got mountain board tires, just go nuts. I mean, it's a lot more fun. I'm going to come into the big topic, actually, the first big topic, which is the Elisabeth Quey Cup. What the hell were you guys thinking?
I know. Yeah, so this I'm going to jump in because this is mostly Brad's baby, so I'm going to jump in before he starts rambling on about it, because I will say that without Brad pushing this event, it wouldn't have gone ahead. There was a lot of hesitation from not just myself and the other guys on board, but the Ezra committee and everything. It was just seeming more and more like it wasn't doable. And Brad was pretty persistent and just pushed it. And even on the days of and after and before the event, he was on the forklift for like 3 days straight, I'm pretty sure. he really, really pushed it through. So hats off to Brad. He really killed that. And he's really created that sort of vision not created, but he's pursued that vision for ERL that he's had from the start, and proved that it can be bigger than where we currently are. So go for it, man.
Brad, I'm going to say, before you get going, Brad, I'm going to say it was the footage that came out of that weekend was some of the best race footage I've seen anywhere in the world, man. It was awesome. And the only thing I'm spewing about, I came back from Vegas and I went, what the hell's going on in Perth? Why do I know about this, and why am I not there? This is killing me. Man, honestly, I was so devoed that, you guys had, and I listened to your podcast this morning, you guys had such a narrow window to get it up and actually have all the red tape crossed off that you really didn't have a lot of time to advertise it. And I honestly reckon, and I'm just my gut saying this, I honestly think personally, if it had been 3 months of advertising or 4 months worth of advertising, you probably would have had some of the biggest groups of people from Esk8 around Australia, at least, potentially from around the world, coming to be part of it, that you would have ever seen, I think, because it was next level. Now, Brad, I'm going to let you loose and tell me all about it.
Yeah, that's
for me
right.
and all
I'll
the
take that as a
appreciation in the world,
quote for the
thank you.
tourism department, hey?
Absolutely. mate.
Sorry.
Refer them back to my podcast and say, listen to this guy. It
Yeah.
was all from an e-skater who loves this stuff. Oh, man. Wow. Just thank you. It was great to see. I'm just spewing that it wasn't full telecast somewhere, so I could have watched every minute of it. Because I was hunting for videos to watch after it happened.
Apologies for that. It's coming. We should have had it out by now, but in all honesty, the event that size, delivering that alongside having a full-time job as well, was a lot. I took a bit of recovery time, and our budgets are very much depleted. So we didn't just have the luxury to go, hey, here, someone, can you edit this for us and polish it up? Because we do want to have a restream, and it was actually full telecast on the day, but we don't have a restream just yet, and we will. I've been a bit, precious about it, and I probably should have pushed it out earlier. It's having the time to do it.
Mate, use it as your promo for the next one.
It will be. We'll start drip feeding some of it soon, and I do want to get a full restream out, but we want to have like some of the graphics done nicely, the times put on there nicely, and just trim it down like it was a 6-hour event, but there was like every 15 minutes was a ferry crossing. We cut off the ferry terminal with the racetrack, so there was a lot, and a island bar and another dock as well. So a lot of filler time that we need to just kind of trim it down, a bit more digestible. Definitely want to do it. Buy some merch like you said before. That might help us. Maybe if I list them up there, maybe soon, then it'll be available.
So Brad, give me the rundown. I mean, how did your head say, I want to do this, this is my location, and this is what I'm thinking? How did that stem, or where did you walking around there having a coffee with the family, or?
Actually, I was started off with a conversation with the city of Perth, and I was floating the idea of a multi-level car park race. We had a grant that we were applying for, so it was a CBD revitalisation grant to get people back out after COVID. That's from the Department of Sport, local government, sport and cultural industries. So I was initially trying to pitch an idea for a multi-level car park race. We'd have to get the car park completely surveyed and changed its use of building use and stuff like that. There's a bit of bureaucracy. Still want to do that one at some point. Who knows what city we'll take that to? Ideally a few. But no, when I was talking to the city of Perth, they were like, "Oh, what about Elisabeth Quey?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even think that was an option. But if you're going to float that one, I'm going to have a crack at it." And it's just such a prime location. It's a big step up from a car park in Rockingham.
Brad, in that meeting, you would have gone, "Oh, let me just take a minute. It might work."
It wasn't that simple though. There were a lot of stakeholders. So the grant funding came from the state government, and then Elisabeth Quey is managed by a group called Development WA, who are managed by CBRE, a real estate group. And so, I'm talking to the city of Perth, and they say, "Oh, you need to talk to Development WA," and then I get handballed around for a while, and then eventually Development WA came through, and we got it approved tentatively through them. I thought it was more approved than it was, but it came in closer. We still need to get the landlords of that area to fully approve it. But we cut off an island venue. We cut off a ferry terminal and another dock and an alfresco area from a bar. So we had to deal with all the stakeholders on that, and hopefully I did a good enough job, and they want us to come back again. Maybe there's scope for trackside bars as we grow.
Absolutely. I mean, you'd be selling it. Get them to reserve your seat here for drinks and the craziness right in front of you. I mean, the
it's
location.
Not a cheap exercise though.
It wasn't.
No. So the grant that we got from the city of Perth was I think it was 45. I think was including GST or plus GST. And we spent that very quickly. And in fact, a few things blew out and our admin budget disappeared, so we didn't pay ourselves at all. Our contingency budget was obviously gone before that point. And then it still cost me, 6, 7, or probably even close to 8,000. I I've acquitted the grant, but I can't remember. I've got to do some accounting for ERL still. Like I said, it took a toll, and I've recovered from it. Yeah, no, my partner's very understanding, very, very supportive, and it makes a world of difference. So yeah, no, I've actually taken most of my time now. I'm back to freelancing. I've given up a full-time job with a decent salary to kind of give myself room to work on this now. I'm doing a business accelerator, and hopefully can get us to a point where we pitch it to some funders and take it to the next level, really. So,
Brad, I'll take my hat off to you. The amount of commitment you've taken personally to help build ERL, but you're not just building ERL, you're building a legacy of electric racing and a legacy of electric skateboarding and PEVs in Australia. And I think, without people like yourselves going that extra mile, the sport wouldn't be growing like it is. And showcasing Perth like you did was just, I've traveled through Perth a million times for work in years gone by prior to COVID. And it's a beautiful city and people need to get down there and have a look. But I tell you what, it highlighted it in a whole different, I suppose, understanding for me. Like Perth, it seems a little sleepy, nice place to go and have a drink, some food and catch up with people. But I tell you what a location. It was just awesome. So thank you so much for that. If you haven't seen any of the footage, get onto ERL on the socials, on Instagram and all the rest of it. Have a look at some of the photos and videos. This place is next level. And I'm going to ask you to give a shout out to the poor rider that ended up having a bit of a swim. I know he's bored with okay, but I know he had to get a new remote from the chat I saw online. So please give the gentleman a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Benjo V. He handled it like a champ, and he was having issues with his remote prior to the race, and he was sort of, a lot of people are sort of questioning him, should he even jump on, but he just went for it. He absolutely went for it. And as you can see on the floor, he just completely lost control. He lost his brakes, went over and handled it like a champ, and did a great post-race interview after, which we should get out very soon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Should tie the two of them together, and no more problems with the remote because the remote's toast. And is that for a new one anyway?
I'm sure he has a new remote. I would hope so.
But no, hats off to you guys for that. I mean, Brad, thank you so much, man. It was, I seriously, if you're going to do it again and there's notice, I mean, I know the investment you're talking about is just huge, and I know it takes a lot to do it again. And if it is going to happen again, if there's ability to have lots of notice, let us know, and I'll get aboard over there. I might not be racing as fast as Tas, but I'll clean up the stuff behind him about a kilometre. So I'll see.
We'll have a couple of classes maybe. We are wanting to do it again. There's obviously a lot of approvals to go through. Tentatively, let's say October next year. That's my goal. Just April, if we want to go over to Esk8 and visit that, April's not going to. Just the amount of time we're in October now. Like, we only found out about our funding. I applied for the grant last year in October. Found out in mid-November. Had my main job was installing Christmas decorations for like cities and councils and stuff like that. So like big scale Christmas decorations from November to January. Still trying to our funding didn't really come in until like March. Like we'd finally signed the contract to get the funding in March, and then it was only a couple of weeks of being allowed to actually properly announce it. We'd already spent money on marketing behind the scenes and ready to go. But hopefully that's a lesson learned. And October next year, we have like a couple of months worth of marketing well and truly in advance. It would make a huge difference. And I mean, if the only thing is if it grows, it's also going to cost us more to put on. I'm going to
big hit on that in a second, because one thing that I do need to talk about, and everybody who's still listening, I hope you're enjoying it so far. But one thing I want to talk about is what's coming up this weekend. It is a sponsored event by E-Riders. E-Riders out of Queensland, correct? Out of Brisbane. And E-Riders are sponsoring ERL's Mega Fast Race Day. So, and I know it's on the 22nd of October. It's this weekend.
This Sunday.
This Sunday. So you guys, thank you so much for giving your time prior to, I know you got a lot to go through and plan for this weekend, but thank you for giving up your time this week. It's 11:30 a.m. through till 3 p.m. Is that correct?
No.
That would probably be your time. It's 8:30 a.m. till midday.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And you register online now. So if you want to be involved, there is e-skating, and it's an EUC primary EUC event, but there is e-skating and stuff going on there as well.
Correct.
And free riding if you're not racing. Yeah.
If you're not racing, if you want to try an EUC, get out there. E-Riders, I believe, have sent a pallet of EUCs over to you guys.
Yep, we've got to go pick that up shortly.
Yeah.
So I know the boys up there are looking after you well, and it's a fully sponsored event by E-Riders, which is just sensational. So you guys have got someone looking after the event. Before I let you talk about the event, if you're a sponsor out there and you want to get involved in looking after ERL in Australia, please reach out to Brad and Tas and tell them what you want, and ask them if they're going to put an event on. I want to see this grow. You guys are making it happen, so the companies need to get behind you, whether it be 12 Board Store, Ben Buckler, E-Riders, whoever else out there. And E-Riders are awesome because they're actually putting their money where their mouth is to support the sport. So thank you so much, E-Riders. Again, I'm going to say E-Riders about 20 more times, and I do apologise, but thank you. But yeah, so Brad, Tas, tell me about this event this weekend. Give us a rundown. Tell us all about it. Let's have it.
Yeah. So yeah, as I mentioned, 8:30 start. Riders will come in. We'll check in. We're going to have a bit of a practice run, and then followed by time trials. So each category of riders will get the chance to set their best times. Those times then will set their pole positions for the remainder of the competition. Then we have 3 rounds of racing. So this track's pretty big. This is actually our biggest track we've raced on. So we're looking at potential speeds of up to 90 kilometers. So it's going to be pretty quick and pretty impressive to see. So we're really looking forward to it. And then, I know that the local communities have organized a bunch of group rides and things like that with E-Riders after. So it's set to be a really good weekend.
So if you're an EUC rider or an e-skate rider for that matter, get out there. What town's it in WA, in Perth?
It's in Wanneroo, which is about 20 minutes north of Perth.
Yeah, okay. So it's not far from the CBD, 20 minutes out,
Sure.
and you can get on an EUC. And if you're a fast EUC rider, I challenge you guys to get out there and catch up with ERL. Get over there, and if you're in Melbourne or Adelaide, hey, there's trains going across there, so jump on a train. Just imagine you taking your EUC or your electric board on a train and saying, no, this seat is reserved for my board on my EUC. See you later. Get traveling, get over there and get racing with the guys over there. Thank you so much for giving me so much time, as I said, on these subjects. You guys have been extremely welcoming, and I'm really appreciative of you guys giving this time this week. Guys, is there anything else? I mean, Tas, on the Esk8 Oz Facebook page that you've quite commonly now given photos of the boards that you're building, and I love seeing them because they are epic boards. I mean, I get every time I see it, 3 links on something, I was like, "Ooh, what's that?" I get this quiver of excitement, and you're sharing a lot of love there. So, and I think you took Board of the Month a few months ago.
Yeah,
well.
I can't even remember which one that was with. One of the off-road.
But no, it was one of the street boards.
Okay, it was probably my old race board. Yeah, my previous race board. Yeah, I'm constantly chasing Jeff on and off the track.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's good to have some healthy competition.
There's been some beautiful photos being posted up on the Esk8 Oz Facebook page for Board of the Month, and I'm loving the comp, and I'm going to try and get as many photos of the year as I can. I'm going to put them together in a collage and awesome. Put them together in a video so everyone can have a look at all the boards for the year that have been submitted. So,
that's a great idea.
Guys, tell me a bit more about what's going on with you guys. We're from after the Mega Fast Race Day. Where are we going from here? What's the big picture?
Yeah, no, I guess like I alluded to before, like our big push into the rest of the country is higher on our priorities. So we want to get over there and try and set up some grassroots things. Try to meet the people who can like continue on with our systems, and then send risk plans and everything up the chain so that we can have them as part of it. They can join ERL essentially, and we can. We're not an insurance company, but we can be event managers who are insured. So we get called up to insure. We we've been asked to like insure events before, and we're like, we can't really insure it, but we can be the event managers. We're insured to do that. So if we can build our systems and build our team, then we can hope to offer hope to offer racing opportunities around the country. Hopefully, the fact that we've done Elisabeth Quey and some other events now can show the level that we are doing, so that when we talk to some of these kart centres or tracks, wherever we find them around the country, they might be a bit more open to working with us. I get like we might not just come across as the few guys at the pub that we started out as when you're talking to a venue who's worried about the liabilities, etc. So hopefully that helps. That's our big focus. We are trying to get over to Esk8 Con, and whether we set up a stall or like try and get our commentator on the bench there on the panel, or just get into it however we can. That's major for us. I think Taz has got a little one on the way, and he's already got a little one, so that's massive. For we'll figure out what we can do, what we actually can physically do, and just try and build on that as we grow teams, and hopefully get some bigger sponsors on.
I think it has to be a bit of a slow progression. I don't think these things were done in a day, and I don't think they're going to be, they're going to just happen in a blip. It takes time and effort and commitment to make these things sort of eventuate. I mean, I've been mixed up now in this industry now for 3-4 years, I suppose. In the last year and a half, 2 years, I owned part of an Esk8 company, sold my portion off to go back into doing podcasting and doing the other bits and pieces that I wanted to do that helps build the community. So I think you're always growing, going forward to try and do more. And you guys at ERL, thank you so much for all the work you're doing, because it is the community knows it and the community sees it, and we're definitely feeling it. And those of us who didn't get to Elisabeth Quey last year, damn you, we definitely want to get back there. So
we'll give you more notice.
Yeah, no, look, I understand completely, because I've done some events with other bits and pieces in my career, but I know how smashed up you can get at the last minute when someone gives you the green light and I've only got 2 weeks, and they go, yeah, but you got to do it. It's like, okay, how do we do it? And then you miss out on a whole wave of excitement and expectation and planning that goes on. So just for an example, I've already booked my accommodation at Esk8 Con for next year, locked in.
Yeah,
I'm there. I land on April 1st, April Fool's Day, of course, and I fly out on the Monday, the 8th. So I'm already accommodation done. Now I've got to work out flights and stuff. So I'm just picking away at it. So as the next, I think 6 months goes, I'll be ready to jump on a plane without any fear or worry or anything. And I think that's like you guys with a massive event like you're doing, and even this weekend, this mega fast race day from ERL. That's fully supported by e-riders. I did it again. The planning that you guys must have put into this with e-riders and others must have been immense as well. So it's next level gear what you guys are doing. So thank you. Taz, what are we going to see from your board building coming up? I know I'm sort of curious. You said my old race board. Have you got another one?
Yeah, no, that was so the most recent one was the one I'm racing on now, obviously, and that's a combination of a lot of different parts. Obviously, you've seen the 3 links on it. I'm pretty content with this build, and I'm at the point where I think I need to tame the board before moving on to something else. Or I definitely haven't outgrown it yet. So it's a 4-wheel drive, pretty powerful. So there's a long way of racing to go on it for sure.
Do you mind me asking what it's running? Besides just being a 4-wheel drive, what's it?
Yeah, so it's 12S6P. So I actually pulled the battery out of my previous race board, which was a 2-wheel drive. So admittedly, that battery is probably a little underpowered for a 4-wheel drive setup, but I'm just rolling with it. I might as well use that battery until it goes. And I'm not flat out. A bit faster than that. I don't seem to be pushing it to its limits yet. So it's the motors at the back are 6.375s. Motors at the front are 6.355s. I have Maker X DV6s on both the front and the rear. The deck is a bound motor deck. Again, I reused my old wheels, which are Tramper deep dish hubs with Meepo cyclone tires. Those cyclone tires are super grippy on the track, and to be honest, I haven't found anything as grippy as those, so I just keep eyeing them. But I'm yet to try the Stooge BRPs on the bitumen, which seem to be the best on bitumen. So keen to try those out. I'm just waiting on a few more parts, and just enjoying the new build, really.
All right, so Taz, the next time I talk to you, mate, I need you to tell me that Brad's one wheel's up and running again, and you've got him
I
back.
would hope so.
All right, because I don't like hearing somebody who's stranded.
Yeah, he's been stranded for far too long. Unfortunately, I don't have any experience in one wheels, but with the float wheel being a vest-based system, I'm sure I'll be able to work it out a bit faster.
Yeah.
So,
you'll
he's still trying to get me on 4 wheels as well. So,
yeah, this guy used to be a mountain boarder, so I really want to see his skills on the e-mountain board.
Well,
if I did one, I'd rather get like a smaller pack lipo, not too heavy, something to send it into an airbag jump. I don't care about racing those boards. I'd rather send it. That's what'll get me into that.
Really interesting. I actually just Michael from ZFG Esk8 just built me an 18650 12.6 pack for my Tramper. So I went old cells because the old Tramper box is shorter,
a bit small. Yeah.
So I couldn't get the 21.7s in it. So I'm just stoked that I can ride that board again because I had lipos in it and they went really nasty. Then I pulled my spare lipos out and I was like, oh, squishy. Yeah, you guys have got to go next. So there is a special part of off-roading that is a bit unique. And when you've had a taste of it and you get used to it, and then for all those guys out there from ERL who are considering what dirt might look like for them, give it a crack. I mean, I still run my Baja board everywhere. It's my go-to, and I love it at any terrain. But all my Tramper, I love getting a little bit light and loose and having some fun on that too. So just give it a crack because that dirt is a lot of fun, and you'll be able to chase Brad on his one wheel once Taz fixes it. Guys,
I've got you in, Taz.
The pressure's on. Don't worry, I'll get it fixed now.
I haven't asked you. You both have got families and kids and all the rest of it. Yeah, you've got another kid on the way, Taz.
Yeah, I have another kid on the way. About a month and a half before Esk8 Con, so it's gonna be pretty tricky tying that one in. But I have been given the green light to go there for a small period of time, so I'm definitely gonna try my best to make that happen. But yeah.
You start racking up points now, mate. You need them.
Absolutely.
I'm a bit of a stepdad myself. I found myself these days, so I now get to make Brad jokes instead of dad jokes. There's one of them right there. James is great. He was helping us down at the barbecue the other day. I need to get him some new merch because he's wearing his one out just because he wears it all the time. My partner does the same. They're both my biggest supporters.
Committed to help you out. Yeah. Awesome. I think
good.
that's one thing that people don't understand is an Eskate or PEV partner is can be a widower or widow, but at the same time, my wife's fully supportive of my hobby. As you can see, it's a little out of control, but and that's just part of it. It's taken up half my garage now, but commiserations to your partners out there. I know that they probably think, what the hell? But at the same time, the smiles I see on your faces when you're talking about Eskate and PEV, it's what it's all about for me too. So I'm going to leave it at that. We've been on 43 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for this. Really appreciate it. If you haven't and you don't know, get on to Electric Racing League, ERL, online, Instagram. Get on their website. They have a website in the links. I'll put it down below later. Follow them, support them, buy merch. Hound them for more merch because they're a bit sold out at the moment, but hound them for more merch.
I'll fix that very soon.
Merch is going to help them get up. I need to get a T-shirt, so I'm going to get on there and buy some merch. And the other one that we've got to really support for this weekend is ERL's Mega Fast Race Day. You've heard about it here. Don't miss out because it's going to be an epic weekend. I'm spewing I can't do it. I've got work and stuff on this weekend, so I can't get across. But I do know my good friend from Queensland, Scott Davies, will be there. doing some videos, and hopefully he'll release a couple of videos of the day as well. And I know that him and I will be chatting, excuse me, and doing a couple of lives from there possibly as well. So follow Scott Davies. Make sure you tune in to see what he's doing over at the Mega Fast Race Day. So fully sponsored by E-Riders. I've done it one more time.
I'm sure they won't be complaining.
Nah, not at all. But support ERL and support Brad and Tas, because these guys are changing the game for not just Western Australia and Perth, but changing the game for Australia. Thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
That's pretty much a wrap from us. Please, if you need any questions or you got anything else, reach out and talk to these guys and ask them any questions about the events and stuff as well. And if they want to have an event in your town, also ask them, because these guys are the ERL and PV racing experts for Australia now. So get on, ask them.
Yeah. If you want to start a club, if you want to start a race club, we can point you to Ezra and help start that process too. We're looking to start some of our first clubs, maybe the Southwest soon over here, but then as we build the templates, we want to build this around the country. We're going to need heaps of people. So if you can for that, maybe you don't want to race, maybe you just want to work behind the scenes. That some people enjoy that as much as anything else. So get in touch.
There is one race crew over here in Melbourne that do a little bit of underground stuff. They keep to themselves a bit, and they have got a crew here. I know there is a racing group in New South Wales as well. So maybe we'll talk outside and try and get some hookup and try and get everyone working on the same page.
Nice.
Sounds good.
That sounds great.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you got your fix. All the details and links will be in the show notes, and remember to subscribe so you never miss a thing. Be sure to leave a like and a review, as it's always a huge help. Please follow Esk8 Oz on your socials and give our host a follow as well. Until next time, stay upright and keep smiling.